So with a mural like that, the first thing you got to do is go measure the wall. And in this case, the wall was 18 feet wide by 13 feet high. Now down on the wall, there's 1 foot squares going across. In Fantasyland, this photograph would have been 13 by 18, but it's not. And it also, so what I have to do is, you can see here's an inch. I had to come up with the, and again, this isn't really that difficult, but I had to come up with the formula. In this case, it was 9/16. So these squares are 9/16. And in doing so, to be able to get, again, 18 squares across, 13 up, and you can see that the bottom is even going to get cut off just because that's the proportions of the wall. So that'll actually be the way the mural is. And then you can see, in the more intricate places, the hand, the face, I'll double, go cut them in half. So on the wall, there's 6-inch squares around this face and hands, and then I don't remember what exactly these are, probably about 1/4 of an inch.
Interesting.
Years ago, when I first started making paintings, that's how I did it. Everything was gridded.
Yeah.
Just to get it right. And, it seems like it's a lot of work, but it makes the drawing go a lot faster. I mean, I remember hearing people say, "Oh, I have a friend who freehands that stuff." No, he doesn't. People don't freehand that stuff. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You just couldn't physically do it on a scale that large. You know what I mean? Like, if it's little, you could freehand it, but not that big because you can't even see it. There's a little bit of math there.
There's a lot of math there.
Yeah, and obviously all that's done before you get to the site, but it didn't take just more a couple hours to do it. So the first thing I do is then I'll go down there, I'll draw the grid with chalk on the wall. Today what I did is then I drew the figure into the grid with chalk also. But what I had a couple people following me with black paint, because if it rains, it's gone. And it's really no different than if I was doing a regular painting. It's just bigger, And when it's bigger like that, you can't really see it because everything is so big, you're so close to it. So that you got to really trust the grid that it's right.
To have done this before and to go back on it, I mean, it's been a few years though.
Right, so this is a repeat of the same mural that we did originally in 2018. It turned out the wall was bad and there was a lot of moisture trapped in it, and it just took not just the mural but all the way down to the base. So RappArts group put, I think, some sort of signboard over it. It's a great surface, no problems. And so I'm painting exactly the same mural over the same mural.
To do it though, and not have to do a mural and not have to deal with what you usually have to do on a side of a building. Oh,
sure. This is great. This is probably the best surface I could have possibly worked on, because normally even a cinder block wall, there's the mortar joints. It's a little textural and absorbs the paint differently. Murals are a pain in the neck sometimes because of that, because you have to really adapt to the surface. This is a great surface, so if I don't do a good job, it's my fault.
Because it's supposed to be so hot, does the heat impact? Does the paint dry quicker?
So the paint that I use, which is called an alkyd paint, has to be 55 overnight, which 55 overnight can be like 85 during the day. Two things: it's in the shade, which is really nice.
Okay.
I'm an early riser, so I try to get down there by 6:30. And it's cool. It was this morning, it was in the 50s when I got down there.
To have Johnny Johnson back on that wall just seems right.
Yeah, and it felt bad for the last couple of years because it was so deteriorating so much. This will be great. It'll be nice to see it done really well. Because of the surface, I should be able to do a real good job.
And to be asked to do it again. I mean, he meant a lot to the community and to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I knew him, and he was a great guy, a real sweet guy, really good mentor for a lot of us in the town. So yeah, it's an honor. It's certainly an honor to be able to do it again. And it's funny, when I was down there on the site, I was using a photograph of the mural to draw it in, plus the original photograph. So I was using both of them. So it'll be probably slightly different, but not noticeable to most people.